Good morning. We've got a heck of a project to work on today, and I forgot to start filming and started with tearing stuff apart before I got the camera turned on. So you get to see it partly taken apart. So basically what happened here is on the original install, they didn't have the right color panel for right there. And even though it got written up, somehow things got missed. And so I'm going to take this apart. We're going to pull that face frame off, and we're going to pull that dishwasher panel out of there if we can, and put the right color one in there, and then put this all back together. And no pressure, but the house closes in about 2 hours. So I do not have a tripod with me. I'm going to set you up over here in the corner. Hopefully I can get a camera view that you can see what's going on. We're going to go right about there. Should give you as good a view as we're going to get. So I'm going to get started. Here we go. So the gist of what we're going to do here, I've got all the face materials taken off and the screws out of this on the inside. The countertop, I'm going to put some wedges in, is not attached solid just yet. Neat. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're going to slide a wedge in there and do the same thing on the other side. There's another wedge. We're going to come up inside here and we're going to try and get a wedge on this side. Oh, no, we're not. Darn the luck. Well, that's what we need, is that lifted over on the right here. I have to get this underlayment. I don't know if that's visible in the camera or not. There's a plywood underlayment. I need to break that loose all the way across there. See how many screws are in it. It looks like we might luck out. They didn't screw that to this. It was nailed in a few locations. Okay, now that holds it all onto the face. We're going to come over here and do the same thing on the other side. So we'll use our plastic pry. We'll just come over here on the side. You can see what I'm up to here. Just put this little shim, another one, over on that side. Now we do need to deal with this, but that's going to be a separate operation. We'll take our heat gun, and we're going to warm the glue. And we don't melt it per se. You just warm it enough to soften the glue, and that makes that face frame come loose much, much easier. So we're going to try this. Big area of concern is down here on the bottom. That did make that much easier to pop that free. that. Now that's out of the way. Now I have to clean all this up before I can put it back. We got that glue that we just softened. Keep coming out of the camera. The glue that we just softened is this right here, and honestly it didn't soften it that much here. But down there I don't even really want to touch it because it's quite tacky. So we'll set the face frame out of the way. Now our next piece that's a wee bit more challenging is we've got to get this off. There's no way to get behind it to heat it, but I'm going to take advantage of the fact that this return isn't going to be visible. We're going to reuse it. It's not going to be visible. So I'm hoping that I can just gently pry on this, and we're going to get it to pop free. There we go, just like that. I don't know if you could hear that, but it popped free up at the top. Now it has a dado that's holding it. There, just like that. That's exactly what I was after. I needed it to come over enough to get it by this little lip right here in the tile and down the face, as you can see. And that's all I need was just that little bit of movement to the right. And with any luck, with having that loose up there, get my pry bar in there, I can convince this to come out of there. And we're not going to break any tile, we're not going to break the cabinet. And I honestly don't care if I break this, if I have to. Yeah, I do. But that's all right because we're not going to reuse it anyway. The only part that has me a little nervous is right down here in the bottom. I've got to find a way to get in and around that, and this is all rigid. It's not going to want to move because it's buried down into the flooring. So most likely what I'll end up doing, I'm going to take these blocks out and this little dead toe kick, and I'll have to put those back after the fact. Not a big disaster, but I'm not going to be able to probably have you be able to see it. We'll try it. All I'm going to do is go down in here and pop these loose. And see if I can get under that with this small pry. There we go, just like that. Now we're going to take that whole assembly out of there to the best we can and not end up with slivers or pieces of metal in my fingers, just like that. So that can sit in there out of the way. Now that lets me move this panel complete over enough to get that other piece in. So now that I've got that all out, I'm just going to clean that all up down there, and I'll vacuum up the dust, pull all these staples and screws, and then I will restart the video and I'll be right back. So I got all this cleaned up, all the staples and everything out, and that was boring. You didn't want to watch it anyway. And there were two little blocks back in the back here that were holding this side panel on, and I got those two little blocks out of there just by reaching back and popping them with the pry bar. So we're going to reuse those here in a minute, and I just have to lift this back up enough. I'm just going to use my little wedge pry bars. I just need this up about another 1/8 of an inch or so to get that panel to slide out of here, just like this. There we go. And now we've got the entire assembly of the old wrong colored one is out. And we're ready to put the new piece in, which I'm going to try and set this back far enough that you're going to be able to see this operation as we do it, but the worst of it is already done. We're going to slide this new piece in. I'm going to attach these little blocks back there as spacers, and I do see I've got a couple more nails to pull. Well, as soon as I figure out where to drop my nail pullers. I'll slide that new piece back in against those blocks. It should be a fairly tight fit. We'll have a little bit of grout repair to do here, but that's no big deal. And then we just reverse the process. We're going to put the new assembly in, and then we'll set the face frame back in place and reattach it, put all the doors to drawers, and it'll be like this never happened. It never should have happened, but I had to run out and get a nail gun. What I'm going to end up doing, because of access, obviously I can't nail the block down in behind there, so I'm going to put one block up top on the cabinet. I'll nail the other block to the new panel that I'm about to go unwrap. And I should have done before I turned the camera back on. And so all this does is it just puts a block here to allow that panel to slide in, and it makes it tight. Now I may end up having to take the grout out in order to get this to all fit in, but we're going to try it without first. So I'm just going to take that. I'll throw a couple pins in it. Yeah, awkward angle. You know, I would have thrown a couple pins in it, but I think I got a dead battery. No, it says it's good. Oh, there we go. There we go. And I will pull that other piece out, and I'm going to put one on the bottom, and I'll pull it out and I'll show you. So essentially all we have here is the same thing that we took out. With a filler on the front. And because we have the block up here, roughly, that's fine. And I need to put one down on the bottom here, so it doesn't hurt it. And I'm just going to tack, boy, I'm having a terrible time with camera angle. I need a cameraman. I'm just going to set this, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches off the bottom. Put a couple pins so that we know it's going to hold still. There you are. I'm going to take a run of the shop back down inside here. There's still, now that I've got that out, some grout and some other corruption. Okay. So I think we're ready to get a first attempt and get this slid back in here. See? Okay. We got all that out. Tricky to get all the angles here. Now all I'm going to do is slide this back in. Let's get you up here. Maybe you can see better. A little awkward here today. So all I'm going to do is slide this back in until it goes into that notch that we created. And it's going to have to come up slightly. Why are we not going in? Oh, we're not in the notch. That's what's wrong. We've got to get into that knot. There, just like that. So now we're just going to get this in place. You can't see, but what's happening here is I'm stuck right there. This won't move in. And of course the tub deck won't move. So I'm going to flex it, slide it back into that notch that goes all the way to the floor, which, there, you can just kind of see it. And hopefully not break it in the process. So, we've broken a tile. Saw that coming earlier. All right. It's not really going to matter. Again, the tile's all coming out here apparently. The tile they were after wasn't available through this builder, so they've hired someone to remove it, what's here, and replace it with what they were after to begin with. Basically, I'm just kind of working it in as I go. And I've mentioned in other videos, if you've never watched them, these dead blows you can do a pretty substantial amount of force without denting or damaging, you know, cabinetry and softer materials, because they don't bounce and create dents. They hit and they stop, and that's the whole idea of a dead blow. And as you can see, slowly but surely moving in up here, and we're just going to continue working it all the way in at the bottom. Like this, in the process of working that in, one of these, the tile that creates the little notch down here, chipped. And we'll have to replace that piece of tile, or not, depending on what the homeowner chooses. So we are to a point where I can move my wedge over to the other side now onto the new piece, and we can start working this face frame back in. What's the next step here is and I should have already done this, so you'll have to bear with me a second. When they build these, they put them together with staples, and the idea is the staples will hold it until the hot glue dries, and they're basically hot glued together with some staple add-ons. And I'm going to turn around and do very similar. I use a different hot glue that dries a little slower, but it's a little stronger in the end now. And I could plug the heat gun back in, soften this a little, and probably make this a little faster, but you're only going to see about 2 seconds of it, because during the editing I'll just go to the bottom and, ooh, look how fast that was. Okay, that was the piece I needed to worry about. The rest of this really isn't in the way. And over here, we're good all except for one spot right here at the top. And that piece will need to come out. And we should be good to go to reattach. Got everything cleaned out here that needs to go. And no, that's not the glue sticks that these are. That bag was just really convenient. So all we're going to do, we're going to put the hot glue back on the face frame and reattach it to the cabinet box. Ow. Oh, that's going to hurt a lot later. We're going to reattach it to the cabinet box and to our new piece, our new panel. Figure I might as well just peel some of this while that gun heats up. I'm actually going to reuse some of this original glue, because as I put the new glue inside, it will reattach to the original glue a second time. That'll heat up and melt. We're going to need a minute, which again to you will only be a second, because I'm going to edit it out. Alright, we got a whole bunch of distractions, interruptions, and we got that taken care of. Our glue is hot, and all I'm going to do on the inside here, I run a quick bead up each side, not any great amount, just enough to put a little inside there, and then we're going to reattach it. And all we do is push over on that, actually pull back on that, and get that top start. And anybody who's watched very much has seen me do this a dozen times. And I'm going to be peeling glue because we're stuck down here at the bottom, and it doesn't want to snap over. Where's my pry? There it is. Yeah, this is going to be an issue. It's not a major deal, it just sometimes it happens that it doesn't want to pop back in behind that. There we go. I've got my piece of panel here that doesn't want to move. bifocals don't ever cooperate.
Oh, of course not. I catch myself looking over top of my glasses when I'm doing hinges.
Oh yeah. I think I spend most of my time looking over my glasses doing hinges. There. Gotcha. Okay, now just...
Oh.
We are on. Of course, the other side fell off now, but this is the side that's the tricky one. So if we can get this in, come on, there. There we go. And we can put the screws back in. Which I don't even know what I did with them, but that's okay. I have lots.
They're right there, under the
Oh,
yellow.
Behind that yellow thing.
Under it, yeah.
That's what we're after. That off and this on. And okay, now we go back to the other side and finalize it. And because we had it on, the glue should be molded to the cabinet side. Go up just a little. Up, just like that. No, we're still off the bottom. Alright, so we had a little time out there while we fought with we had a glue joint that was giving us grief here. I took it back apart, cleaned it. I didn't figure you want to watch all that. So now we got it all set back in place. This side is attached. Just letting the heat gun glue back, or the glue gun heat back up, which we're there, and we can get some more glue on this side. And then we just need a little down here on this face, and because this dries clear, we can put it down there, and it just doesn't show. It just disappears as it dries. And that just gives it that little extra reinforcement. Now we're going to let all that dry and basically put our doors and our front pieces and drawers back in, and that'll wrap this up. A little trickier than I'd hoped for, but really kind of what I expected on this job. It's a long, tedious process. You just have to go really slow, take your time. When things stop working, back up. Yeah, and that's basically what happened, and that's what we did. When we had everything all together, and this side just did not want to go together. So at some point I made the call to just stop, take the screws back out, and start again. Clean all the glue out, and totally start with a clean surface, and it worked fine. So that's going to be it for this one. I won't bore you with putting doors and drawers back in. I'll take a quick shot here at the end of it all back together, and you'll be able to see the final product. So until next time, I'm Papa Jay. Thanks for watching.